Welcome to the new box review. This is part 1 of the new box review. Part 2 will either be released later today or tomorrow.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at him. Let's go.
It's time to move on to Rose cards, including Black Rose Dragon. A lot of these cards do not really interact with each other. Rose itself is not a deck type. These are generally just plant type cards. We have 2 ultra rare cards, including Black Rose Dragon to review, and 2 super rare cards. Let's start off with super rare Rose Paladin. Rose Paladin says, when this destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you contribute this card to special summon a plant type monster from your hand or deck in defense. Its second effect is you could send this card from your hand to the graveyard to add a level 7 or higher plant type from your deck to your hand. So I'm not too excited about its first effect, but its second effect is something. Here are some examples of what you could special summon or search with this card. We have Titanial, Fallen Angel of Roses, and Angel of Roses, which we will talk about in a bit. I probably want to use this card with Rosaria, the Stately Fallen Angel, which is a level 7 plant type deck. This is an older card that says you must special summon this by banishing 2 level 7 or higher plant type monsters, 1 from your hand, 1 from your graveyard. So Rose Paladin is a great way to get that effect going. Now once per turn, Rosaria says you can negate the effects of all other face-up cards currently on the field until the end of this turn, including spells and traps. Let's talk about Titanial. Titanial is a 2800 attack monster. During either player's turn, you contribute a plant to negate any effect that targets a card. This is great for negating a gear town being destroyed. If they're targeting their own gear town with something, negate it. Usually an effect will say if they are targeting your own cards, but this will stop anything that targets anything. The problem with that is it must tribute itself or another plant to negate. So we need an easy way to have additional plant monsters on the field. If we don't have tokens, we could potentially use something like Swamp Mirror. Swamp Mirror, you could summon itself as a plant. After you successfully summon your Titanial, wait for them to activate something, tribute off the Swamp Mirror, you successfully negated any card that targets. An easy way to summon it could be a card like Miracle Fertilizer, which we will talk about later. This card basically just special summons Titanial from the grave. Carrot Weight Champion would be a great way to send it to the graveyard so that you could special summon it with your Miracle Fertilizer. We could also summon it with Rose Lover by just having it in our hand. You banish Rose Lover from the grave, special summon your Titanial. Now since we brought up Miracle Fertilizer, let's talk about it. Once per turn, you could target a plant monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You cannot normal summon or set the turn you activate this effect. Very simple, special any plant from the grave, no normal summon / set, but you could special summon still. So maybe you want to use Neos Fusion. Similar to what we talked about with Titanial, Carrot and Rose Lover have some good synergy with this card. Maybe you want to make a Super Vice Gigaplant deck where you could special summon an insect or plant from your hand or graveyard. So those are the 2 super rares and ultra rares so far. The ultra rare Black Rose Dragon we'll follow up with in a second. Let's talk about the Fallen Angel of Roses since it ties in with the Rose Paladin and potentially Titanial. Let's talk about Fallen Angel of Roses. You could special summon this card from your hand by returning a plant type monster you control to the hand. But you must banish this card when it leaves the field. So that can make it difficult with your Rosaria where it wants your level 7 monsters to be in the graveyard. Instead of being dead like other big plant monsters in your hand as you're waiting to summon your Rosaria, you have the alternative to just summon it. So even though it kind of goes against Rosaria by summoning it and then it gets banished, it's still a good option if your hand is looking dead and you really just want to summon this. Let's talk about the Queen Angel of Roses. Level 7. You contribute this card in face-up attack by tributing 1 plant once per turn during your standby phase. Destroy 1 face-up monster on the field with the lowest attack, including itself. Now, which of the Black Rose? Level 4 Tuner. On summon, you draw a card only if you are playing a monster-heavy deck, though, because if the card you draw is not a monster, it dies, and so does your drawn card. It goes to the graveyard. Level 4 Tuner also, so this could be good for Synchro Shokan. A good combo with this could be with Rose Fairy. You draw Rose Fairy and it special summons itself. That's a level 4 Tuner plus a level 3 non-tuner to make a level 7 Synchro Shokan Black Rose Dragon. Black Rose Dragon Dragon, if you are not hyped for this card, you are incredibly unaware. Let me aware you. When this card is synchro summoned, destroy all cards on the field, including itself. Anyone could summon this if you can make a level 7 synchro. You do not need a special tuner. You do not need special non-tuners. Just make a level 7, destroy the entire field. Your opponents will think twice before overcommitting their field if you have the capability of summoning a Black Rose Dragon to blow it all up. Black Rose Dragon is probably the most used synchro of the TCG. Now, its second effect is for plants only. You could banish a plant from your grave, turn a defense monster into attack, and then put its attack to 0, essentially a 2400 direct attack. Some examples on ways we could summon Black Rose Dragon could be with Gold Sark and Giant Rex to banish it from your deck, then special summon, then normal summon a level 3 tuner. You could use it with the Witch of the Black Rose combo with Rose Fairy. You could also use it in a Karakuri deck. Nanishi allows an additional summon. Pretty much any Karakuri with this can make a Black Rose Dragon. So maybe this is the epic return of Karakuri. Shiny Sophion says Laval's gonna blow you up with Black Rose Dragon. I'm sure there are many combos. In the comments, you could let me know what your favorite way is to summon a level 7 synchro, which could be Black Rose Dragon. Now, to counter Black Rose Dragon, we have a card called Starlight Road, which was released earlier in a tag duel tournament event. When a monster or card effect is about to destroy 2 or more cards on the field, you could activate Starlight Road, negate it, destroy that card instead, and then special summon a Stardust Dragon from your extra deck. If Black Rose Dragon becomes too popular, Starlight Road may take flight. Now, on the topic of Black Rose Dragon, I'm going to add another super rare card called Cockadoodledoo. Cockadoodledoo is a great way to summon Black Rose Dragon. Why? It's a level 5 tuner. Level 5 tuner, it sounds like you got to tribute it. Wrong. If there are no monsters on the field, you could special summon this card from your hand as a level 3 tuner. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no cards, you could special summon it as a level 4 tuner. Good for hazy tributing, but with no monsters at all, and you can have back row, you could special summon as a level 3 tuner. Then you could special summon Tracker or Gillisaurus to make a level 6 synchro. If your opponent controls a monster, but you can't have back row this time, you could special summon as a level 4, so this would be turn 2, and then still with Tracker and Gillisaurus, instead of making a level 6 synchro, you could now make a Black Rose Dragon. Now let's talk about Blue Rose Dragon. Blue Rose Dragon is a 1600 attack level 4. When this card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you could target a Black Rose Dragon or one plant type monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. So if you were to blow this up with your Black Rose Dragon, not use it as the synchro material, you could then special summon your Black Rose back onto the field. Now we have a card called White Rose Dragon. White Rose Dragon says when this card is normal summon, you could special summon a Rose Dragon monster from your hand or graveyard, and that includes a Black Rose Dragon that was already summoned. So if you want to play a Black Rose deck, you might want to use White Rose Dragon to re-summon your Black Rose onto the field after you blow everything up. If you're not summoning a Black Rose Dragon, you're instead special summoning a Blue Rose Dragon from your hand or grave. Now it has another effect that says if you control a dragon or plant tuner, you could special summon this card from your hand. So with a Rose Whip, a level 3 plant tuner, you could special summon your White Rose Dragon to make an instant Black Rose Dragon. Its other effect is if this card is sent to the graveyard as a synchro material, you could send a plant from your deck to the graveyard, level 4 or higher. The best thing to send is probably a World Carrot Weight Champion. This has great graveyard synergy. Cockadoodledoo could be a great way to trigger its effect to send a carrot weight from the deck to the grave. Another combo with White Rose Dragon, if you're playing What Grows in the Grave, which means you start the duel with a Dark Verger in your graveyard, you could normal summon Rose Whip, which will trigger the effect of Dark Verger to special summon onto the field. Then you could special summon White Rose Dragon from your hand. That's a level 9 synchro. Speaking of level 9 synchros, we have an ultra rare Vermilion Dragon mech. Vermilion Dragon mech, level 9 synchro. It is an ignition effect, which means it can only be used in your main phase 1. Once per turn, you could banish one tuner from your hand, field, or graveyard, then target any card in the field and destroy it. So basically, whatever tuner you use to summon this card, you just banish that tuner from the graveyard, destroy any card on the field. And it has no special requirements to summon it. If your Dragon mech happens to be destroyed by a card effect, you could target one of your banished tuners and add it back to your hand. Ways to summon this easily could be like what I mentioned earlier with with the Verger, Rose Whip, and Rose Dragon. You could also use a level 8 Lava Golem plus 1 level 1 tuner. Blue Eyes are going to love this deck as you could normal summon your Ancients a level 1 tuner and then make it very easily. Now let's talk about Dark Rose Fairy. Dark Rose Fairy. When I see this card, all I'm thinking about is cock. Let's explore the best way to combo this with Cockadoodledoo. Dark Rose Fairy says if a tuner is special summoned, which would be Cockadoodledoo, you could special summon this card from your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you could send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard to place this card on top or bottom of your deck. You can only use each effect once per turn. It's probably best to use this card if you have a focus on discarding cards to the graveyard, like we talked about with Carrot Weight Champion and Miracle Fertilizer. Maybe you want to send a Spore to the graveyard. It reminds me of Quillbolt Hedgehog a bit, where you could kind of summon that for free by discarding it with Quick Draw Synchron. So it's a free special summon from your hand, allows you to synchro summon without normal summoning. Let's talk about Crawler / World Legacy Review. This set has received 3 ultra rare support cards and 1 super rare card. Starting off with a doozy, we have World Legacy World Armor. When a monster is flip summoned, you could special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you could add 1 World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. If this card that is normal summoned or set, not special summoned, you have the quick effect of targeting a face-up opponent monster that was summoned from the extra deck, return this card and that card back to each other's hand. So basically the first effect can be special summoned if anyone flip summons, which the Crawler cards all flip summon. On normal or special summon, you could search for a World Legacy card. We'll talk about those World Legacy cards. And then while it's not special summoned, you could use its quick effect to return a card like a Red Eye / Dragon or a Brave Neos. Let's look at one of the cards that we could search for it with. World Legacy Guard Dragon Mardark, which can be searched for with your World Armor. To summon this card, you could banish 2 normal monsters from your hand or graveyard. If you use Painful Decision with this card, you could instantly summon your Mardark. You send a level 4 or lower normal monster from your deck to the grave, then you add that same name from your deck to your hand. Then you could instantly banish the 1 from your hand and the 1 from the grave. You now have a Mardark on the field. If destroyed, you could add a level 9 from your grave to your hand with a different type / attribute. I'm not so sure about that effect. I can't really think of a good way to use it, but besides that, it's 2600 attack, easily summoned with Painful Decision. Also, all monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense for each dragon monster you control, essentially making it a 3100 attack monster. Now, the other card we could search for with our World Armor is World Legacy Clash. This is a quick play card. You banish a face-up monster until the end phase, then target a face-up monster your opponent controls, permanently make it lose attack and defense equal to the original attack and defense of the monster that you banished. That's a permanent attack and defense reduction. It also protects your monster if it was in danger. If you don't like the idea of banishing your face-up monster, leaving yourself defenseless even though you're reducing their monster by potentially a lot of attack and defense permanently, you could use it with a Giant Rex, which when banished will come right back on the field immediately. And those are the 2 cards you could search for with your World Armor. Moving on to the actual Crawler deck type. Now, as we are on Crawler Spine and Ultra Rare card, let me tell you this. All the Crawlers, all the flip effects have the effect of special summon 2 Crawlers from your deck and face down defense if sent to the graveyard by a card effect by your opponent. We all know that Slash Dragon loves to eat up flip effect monsters that target a card in the field, but not the Crawlers, because as I just said, when destroyed by your opponent's card effect, which Slasher will do when negating, they will trigger to special summon 2 more Crawlers from the deck, so you could successfully use your Crawler Spine on flip, target a monster your opponent controls, destroy that monster. If the slash negates, you're gonna have a fun time. Now that we know what Crawler Spine does, in addition to it being 2100 defense, let me show you all the Crawler flip effects. So we have the Spine, which is 2100 defense, destroys a monster. We have Axon, as we could see here, destroys a spell / trap. I give that a 2, while giving Spine a 3 out of 3. We have Goliath, which could special summon from the hand / grave a Crawler monster. We have Dendray on flip, send any monster from your deck to the grave. Its most relevant stat is 1300 attack. We have Receptor, which could search your deck for any Crawler. And then we have Ranvier, which could add 2 Crawlers from your grave grave to your hand. Those are all of the flip effect crawlers in this deck, with all of them sharing that special 2 from the deck effect. Now remember, all these cards have synergy with your world armor. As they flip summon, you could special summon world armor from your hand. Let's talk about Deus Ex Crawler before we get into the rest of the flip effects and how to use them. Deus Ex Crawler in ultra rare, 3000 defense, 2000 attack, a high level, so it requires 2 tributes to normal summon or set it. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets this face down card, you could flip it up, negate the activation, and destroy that card. Its second effect is, if flipped, all of your opponent's monsters' activated monster effects are negated. It does not negate continuous effects. If destroyed, you could add a level 9 from your deck with a different type / attribute, so let's ignore that. I don't really know a good combo with that. How do we summon this mofo? With Goliath could special summon from the hand or grave on flip. Hand or grave, we have Dendrite and Receptor, which can add from the deck to the hand or send from the grave to the deck. Now you can kind of see how the combos are working here. We got Spine for monster removal with these combos, since none of them inherently remove otherwise. Ranveer for reusing your Goliath, since it adds from the grave back to your hand. And then in addition to monster removal with Spine while doing this combo to summon your Deus Ex Crawler, you have Axon on flip to destroy the opponent's back row. Overall, we are hoping to take a Red Eye / Dragon's virginity with Spine or Axon by negating our monster, then special summoning 2 crawlers from the deck, including a Deus Ex Crawler. So very hopefully I could get that footage for you very quickly before the rest of the masses learn to not negate a crawler with their Red Eye / Dragon. That is it for this box review. Make sure you stick around for the second review.